station. What you are seeing now is the Swiss Guard, as well as the Vatican band down there below. And what we should note also is that 3 popes in a row now have been elected on the second day of the conclave. A remarkable set of events, meaning, of course, these cardinals move much more quickly than they have in the past, which is a sign for the Catholic Church. I want to go to Seth Doan. He is down in St. Peter's Square. And Seth, you must be seeing firsthand the crowds that are just streaming into the square to witness this moment, to see for themselves who the new Holy Father is.
You're absolutely right, Nora. I just want to give you a sense of what it's like to be here right now. If you could, Sam, take a look around here. It is packed. We are getting more and more crunched in this space as tens of thousands of people, Sam is giving you a sense here, are filling the square, coming down Via della Conciliazione, the main promenade leading up here. You can see the media, of course, there. We've been looking around and seeing nuns and priests in the windows, on the balconies here. A lot of these buildings are owned by the Vatican, so even though we're technically in Rome, this is Vatican property around us, and we're seeing the nuns and priests looking out, taking selfies. Turn around here, Sam, also. Come to your left, just to give you a sense of how packed it is at this point. When we were here, people were around and people were looking, but now that they've heard there's a new pope, we're sandwiched in here, and you can see the sun is kind of going behind St. Peter's Basilica, so it's very hard for people to know exactly what's happening. We're watching these big screens, watching some of the Swiss Guards, watching the band, but people are really arching their necks and say, when is the Pope going to come? What exactly is happening? There is a sense of joy, there's a sense of curiosity, a little bit of wonder, I would say, and a great enthusiasm here in the square. Ever less space.
Seth Doan, thank you so much. And I love that Seth has pointed out the sun and how it is shining on the back of St. Peter's Square. It is sparkling here in Rome. And that's in part why this crowd is not only joyful, but they're hot down there. No doubt they are hot, but willing to wait, because it's not just to see the new Pope. It's to hear what he is going to say. And to get a reminder, too, about just what a global event this is. Bells are ringing at churches all around the world. My 17-year-old son is texting me, who is the Pope? So we should talk about that. Who could be the next Pope? People want to know. What's happening right now?
Well, I think the facts that the cardinals, 133 of them, the largest number in history, 2,000 years, have rallied around one figure after 4 votes is very significant. I really do believe it's one of those leading contenders, and dare I say it could well be the past Secretary of State. Obviously, we were hearing about other cardinals, Cardinal Luis Tagle from the Philippines. We were hearing about Cardinal Matteo Zuppi, the president of the Bishops' Conference. We were hearing about Cardinal Peter Erdo, more to the right. I rather suspect it is one of those leading candidates.
Well, I think also with 133, if they needed to come and converge on one candidate, it might be the one that they thought had the most experience and was most known to them, which may be the Secretary of State.
There's a good possibility of that. I mean, I think what is clear is that in a group of cardinal electors, again, 133, largest number in history, where all of these cardinals would say they did not know one another particularly well, to come to a consensus this quickly would suggest they did pick somebody who was a relatively known quantity, who, even if they didn't know him personally, felt that he had played enough of an institutional public role that they had a sense of who the man was.
People are chanting down there in the square. Can't make out exactly what they're saying, but we're looking as members of the Italian military have joined in the march, the procession into St. Peter's Square. People are still trying to make their way in and flood the square and enjoy the moment. It has been about a half hour since we saw the white smoke, so which leads us to wonder what exactly is going on inside there. What are they doing? What might they be doing right now?
Well, you know, Maurice, I was thinking about that because I think you should put yourself in the feet of the Pope. there's
Cardinal
O'Malley.
former
Down there was
Archbishop of Boston.
Franciscan
Cardinal
brothers.
Well, too. Cardinal
They may
Well.
well be hoping to see a Franciscan come to the loggia. That other picture is the central balcony of St. Peter's, where the Pope will step out and where we will hear the Habemus Papam.
Archbishop Gallagher, who is the #2 to the Secretary of
Yes,
State as
he
well.
was the
So these
number
were
two.
non-voting cardinals and church officials who have come
Obviously,
out as well.
also very interested to know. They don't know either. But, you know,
His job sort of depends on the answer
well,
to this
exactly.
question.
But to answer Maurice's question, one thing that the new Holy Father will do, right, is go pray by himself in the Pauline Chapel,
And there
right?
is an amazing painting of Michelangelo, the last painting of his, when he was 70 years old in that chapel. It's stark. It's almost severe. St. Peter on his back on a cross. And he stares at the new Pope, and the new Pope stares at him. And St. Peter is saying to the new Pope, are you willing to lay down your life as I laid my life for the sheep?
I was thinking exactly that we have all this fanfare out here, but the man who has just been elected Pope, Pope Benedict said when he heard his name, he felt like he was being led to the guillotine. It is a massive responsibility, and you can only imagine the trepidation that he has before he comes out on that balcony.
As they feel the weight of the job, right? When we saw it on the cardinals' faces as they entered the conclave, the gravity, the solemnity, you could feel it as they went in there. Now just imagine that one of them is coming out with this massive job.
Yes,
Well,
and
you know,
coming out after Francis, too.
Yeah.
So
those are some awfully big shoes
Yeah.
to fill.